Emily Adams here, and today I wanted to share the 4 things that really helped me get through my divorce. For those that have been following me for a while, you know that I've been through 2 divorces. And after my first divorce, I really did not take any time for myself. I started my weight loss journey, which was incredible, but I didn't do any internal work. And then after my second divorce, I really took a step back and started doing the internal work. And I realized a lot of different things, but one of the biggest things that I realized is I didn't even like who I was. I didn't even love myself. So if you don't love yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you and to accept that love? And that was one of the biggest things that my second divorce really taught me, and I'm super grateful for that. And the 4 things I wanted to share with you today are some things that really changed and shifted different things in my life. One of them is taking the time to heal. To really take time to heal. Feel the feelings, go through the emotions, allow them to come up, and don't stuff them down. Because the more you stuff them down, at some point you're going to have to unpack all of that, and it's still going to be there. So you have to process it. As much as we don't want to process things, we have to process it because it's what we've been through. The other one is focus on yourself. And I'm going to say that one again, focus on yourself. You know, you've just been divorced, you're going through the paperwork, and a lot of times it's easy to get tempted to go right back into dating because it's filling that void that you have within you. I know that because I've been through that. You get right back into dating, you're like, yep, I'm going back at it. It's because you don't want to sit with yourself and process things. Now, I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong time for you to start dating. That is for you to figure out, not me. Everyone is different. So stay focused on yourself. The next one is finding out who you are as a person. And that is a journey in itself. Figuring out what kind of identity do you want to have? What are you currently that you don't want to be anymore, and release those. And then the last one is falling in love with yourself. This one I know sounds a little bit crazy because before I actually fell in love with myself, I thought only crazy people did this. When people would be like, oh yeah, I fell in love with myself, I'm like, that's just weird. And that was like my perception of it. And now I want to go a little bit deeper into each one of these steps and just kind of share some things that I have done that have been helpful. So for number 1, taking the time to heal. Internal healing can mean a lot of different things. For some, it's going to counseling, therapy. For me, I didn't go to counseling or therapy. I tried counseling one time, and it was more of a biblical, religious counseling, and it didn't work for me. I hated it, didn't want it. I wasn't ready, I didn't want to go back. So I started doing a lot of personal development on my own, of watching videos, journaling, and really processing things. And I really allowed myself the time and the space to feel the feelings, to feel angry, to feel hurt, to feel rejected, and know that it was just a feeling. And that feeling doesn't stay forever. So if you're sitting in the feeling of, this really sucks and I've been rejected, know that feeling doesn't stay forever. It's just temporary. And you work through that and you keep feeling those feelings. If you need to cry, if you need to laugh, if you need to scream, whatever it is, let those emotions out and really process that, because that's what helps you heal. And if you have a friend that can hold space for you, or someone that if you need to talk, you can just call them up and say, hey, just be quiet. I just need to talk. That is priceless in itself. And then staying focused on you. Blocking out things that you know are going to be a distraction. If you know you're going to be tempted to go drink, make a commitment. Only maybe you go out once a month to hang out with friends because you don't want to be distracted on healing yourself. And if you know you're numbing out things by binge eating, binge watching TV, alcohol, all these things can be a distraction to not focus on ourselves. And a lot of times distractions are comfortable. They're easy. What's uncomfortable is actually getting rid of those distractions and telling yourself that you're going to focus on you. Just you, not others. You're not going to fix others. You're not going to do anything for anyone else, but just focus on you. And if you're a mom and you're going through this can be really challenging because you have children and you also have to be there for your children. But at the same time, if you make you a priority, you will always have enough time with your children and with your family and with all these other things. You have to fill up yourself first, and don't get distracted. There's going to be distractions come, and if you look, you're going to see them now. Like, people are telling you, hey, go out on a date. Oh, I know this single person, you should go out with them. Like, on and on. Like, people, you will have distractions come up, and it's to test you to see if you are going to give into that distraction and stop focusing on you, or if you're going to stay focused and just stay focused. Make a commitment to yourself. Stay focused on you. Find a hobby that's a healthy hobby, whether that's working out, walking, trying something new, something that you've always wanted to try but you've never done that. Find those things to be focused on versus the things that you know are going to distract you from doing the internal work of healing and growing as a person. Finding out who you are. Some things that you can do is really figure out, who do you want to be? You can literally write this question down. Who do you want to be? And once you figure out who you want to be, what is currently in your life that you had to let go to become that person? Is it your comfort zone? Is it your friend circle? Friends have a huge impact on who we are. And look at the top 5 people in your friend circle. Do they encourage you, build you up, push you out of your comfort zone? Or are they just stay neutral and not doing anything with their life? Those are some hard questions to ask. And once you figure out who you are, start embracing that. Stand in your own freaking power to embrace who you are and who you want to be. Because you are allowed to, at any point in time, you're allowed to change your identity. You're allowed to change who you are. You don't want to be this person that is always negative? Perfect. Change it. You don't want to be this person that sucks at relationships? Perfect. Change it. Start changing your story because you have the power. No one else has the power. Only you have it. You have to make that decision. And then the last one is falling in love with yourself. This is a process. It is not something that just happens overnight. If it does happen overnight for you, congratulations. I'm super happy for you because it's been a journey for myself. And some of the biggest things when it comes to falling in love with who you are is understanding that you have the power to give yourself everything that you need. And I know right now you're probably thinking, yeah, I call bullshit on that. Trust me, I've been there. And I always wondered, how can you say that you really love yourself? Because you can still, like, are they being fake about it? And these were the things that I would ask myself. You know, how can they say they really love yourself? But once you get to that space yourself, you understand it. You get it. Self-love and loving yourself is loving yourself for who you are. But that doesn't mean you have to stay in the same situation or in the same place. You can still improve yourself and love yourself that way. So for example, loving yourself when you still need to lose weight or you still want to lose your weight. You can love yourself on that process. You can still have self-love. Allowing yourself grace and knowing that you are doing the best that you can in this moment and pouring so much love into yourself. Instead of wasting time wishing you didn't have to go through the divorce, wishing that someone was in your life to love, pour all that love back into yourself and really take the time to love yourself at another level. Every day, ask yourself, how can I show up and love myself today? And maybe that's as simple as taking time for yourself. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. And for the longest time, I could not look in the mirror and say, I love you to myself and truly mean it. And the day I realized that, I sat there with tears in my eyes because I finally gotten to that point where I could say that about myself. And I was falling in love with myself. I was falling in love with the process of finding out who I was as a person. So I share all these tips for you, whether you're going through a divorce or a breakup. You can apply these and just know that don't hide your feelings, emotions, process them. Take the time for you, stay focused on you, pour so much freaking love into you because you are worthy of it and you are freaking enough. Just by breathing, you are enough. And if you've listened to my podcast, I say this a lot. And I say it a lot on Instagram stories. Just by breathing, you are enough and you still have a purpose. So if this video was helpful, feel free to share it with any of your friends that are going through a difficult time. Comment below anything else. And meanwhile, if you want to hang out, you can go to the link below and hang out with me on my Instagram stories.